In our world, certain hand motions mean certain things, and sometimes they mean different things in different cultures. In ours, in America, this means something, this means something, this means something, and the one I can't really do on screen right now means something. But in this proverb today, doing that meant something too, and I think many of us need to be doing it today. Yeah, let's go. Get wisdom. Covering my mouth is kind of hard to do with this big mic in my face. But today in our series, Get Wisdom. Oh, by the way, I'm Mr. Brown with Proclaim Ministries. I haven't been saying that lately because I've just been getting right into it. But if you've been following the series, you know who I am already. And thanks for joining us. But again, putting your hand or clapping your hand to your mouth meant something in that day. And our verse talks about today. Today is verse 30, our 30th day in our series, Get Wisdom. The verse is chapter 30, verse 31, which says this: if you have been foolish, exalting yourself, or have been devising evil, put your hand to your mouth. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 31. Again, if you have been foolish, exalting yourself, or have been devising evil, put your hand to your mouth. Now, this phrase is mentioned in the book of Job, when Job was talking to his friends. But basically, doing this meant you need to stop something. So in this proverb, he's saying stop doing two things. And it's probably more, and it's kind of dealing with humility. He talked about a lot of things in chapter 30, but this is kind of humility he's talking about here. And if you've been foolish, exalting yourself. And that's so easy for us to do in our world today, because everything says, hey, exalt yourself. Look at yourself. There's another proverb that says, if you're invited to dinner, don't go put yourself in the main seat so you don't be embarrassed until you go sit somewhere else, right? So it's important that you don't exalt yourself. You let other people praise you and not you yourself. I think it says in Matthew. But in our world today, it's all about promoting yourself. And I struggle with that sometimes too with our business. I'm as a motivational speaker, as running Proclaim Ministries, you want to promote what you do, but I've always struggled with that. Like, hey, come support me. I'm doing great work. I don't want to do that. But I had to come to a conclusion. It's not about me. It's about the work God is doing through me. But still, that temptation is to look at me, look at me, look at me. And this proverb calls it foolish. If you've been foolish, exalting yourself, or the other thing, you've been devising evil, stop that too. Neither one of those things will have good outcomes. Promoting yourself and letting people tell everybody, look at you. As a matter of fact, the book of Philippians says, consider others better than yourself. We should be focusing on humility. The only thing we should brag about or boast about is the Lord. I think there's a verse that talks about that. Only make our boast in the Lord and not in ourselves, because it's not about us. Now, I'm not going to be shy. When people say, hey, great job, I will say thank you. See, we have this thing called false humility. If you're a singer, for an example, somebody say, hey, you did a great job singing. Oh, it wasn't me. It was the Lord. Oh, it wasn't me. Look, God used you. Just say thank you and move on, right? Matter of fact, I heard one guy one day after church. He wasn't even talking to my grandmother, but he was one of the preachers, and he had prayed during service, and he walked to my grandmother and said, hey, did you like my prayer today? Was my prayer good today? And my girl was like, huh? Like, who does that? Who's going to ask that question, right? Because weren't you talking to God on the behalf of all of us? So we shouldn't be that. We definitely shouldn't be that, but we shouldn't be where we always just, oh, it wasn't me. Just say thank you and move on, because you say thank you, praise God. God has done this through me, but it's important to stay humble, because it's not good for us to be prideful, because God resists the proud, it says in James, but he gives grace to the humble. So if you have been foolish, exalting yourself, or have been devising evil, put your hand to your mouth, stop it. If you're devising evil, the Bible teaches clearly, you reap what you sow. So if you're sowing evil, evil's going to come back to you, right? It's going to come back to you in some shape, form, or fashion. It's not going to be beneficial. You'll find yourself working against God if you're devising evil. So if you're doing either one of these things, if you're committing sin, put your hand to your mouth. In other words, stop it. And I don't know, I should have did a little bit more study on this. Was it a public thing where they would just put their hands to the mouth and people knew they were saying I need to stop this course of action? I don't know, because that would be interesting if we were walking around town every once in a while, you see people going like this. We would think it means they don't want to say something they shouldn't say, but this is saying stop doing whatever you're doing that's wrong. So again, our proverb today, Proverbs chapter 30, verse 31. If you have been foolish, exalting yourself, or have been devising evil, put your hand to your mouth. In other words, just stop it. Stop it, because it's not beneficial for you or the ones around you, and it doesn't glorify God. Stop it and get wisdom.